Hello, everyone. It's Lynn Brown from Bridge Lab. And today we would normally be rescuing resumes in the atrium, but today we're going to talk about something different that's part of our series, Graduating in the Age of COVID. Our topic is resumes, but I want to introduce a thought that's going around among recruiters and career counselors and colleges all around the world. And that is resumes will have to be very fluid to respond to a quickly changing world situation. And while some days I think it seems like there's just bad news, I'm also seeing that in the change that the pandemic has brought about, there's going to be some leveling of the playing field. And it's going to give people an opportunity to jump in different ways. So what I'd like to do is just talk about the way that the resume and keeping an open mind about your resume can be really helpful. The first thing is to really get very clear that the only purpose for a resume is to get FaceTime, which is in these days going to be virtual FaceTime or Zoom time or Skype time with someone who can hire you. And so it's an important foundation piece, and probably the most important thing right now is it be responsive to whatever that employer or the job posting says they want. And that's going to mean shifting the focus of your skills a little bit. And if you can build a reasonable template that covers all the bases, summary of qualifications, relevant experience, education, employment, those categories, just as broad headings, will give you a lot of space to plug in keywords. And keywords are those things that jump out when a recruiter or an employer is scanning a resume. And for that reason, if you build a resume based on keywords, it doesn't have to be a long, exhaustive list of everything you've ever done. There'll be an attachment to this email that will give you some best practices tips, but I'd like to go over a few of them right now. In the past, I think we've always looked for the building of the brand and congruency in resumes. Now I think we're looking at a little bit more of an attitude of flexibility. Yes, this person is has a general arts education, but they also have some experience in illustration and animation. Well, so in some of the postings may say that they want those skills. In that case, you would move those skills into a prominent place under your summary of qualifications. There's also some other things. Many students I talk to don't have a lot of professional experience working in the field they're going into. So in that case, if the job posting appears to be looking for some specific skills, really examine your courses, your syllabi, and really kind of connect with some of the things that you've learned in the classroom. You can put those under education, or you can also put them under relevant experience, because those things, while maybe in a classroom setting, are actually experience. You don't have to be paid for them in order for them to be relevant. One of the things recruiters are telling me is that in the next few months, as our labor market opens up a little bit, what you're going to see probably is a lot more part-time work, project work, that sort of thing. And that may mean that you're going to be also needing kind of a day job to stabilize yourself financially. And one of the aspects of the COVID crisis is that it's asking a lot more of all of us to stabilize and be financially literate, know what it costs us to live, know what we're going to have to change around to make this work in the long haul. And I think there is some comfort in that everybody's doing it. We're all in this together, and I think that's the spirit that we approach this. The resume rescue will continue in a virtual way. If you want to have your resume reviewed anytime, just send a note to bridgelab@pnca.edu. We'll respond and get a phone or Zoom conference set up right away. We can always work with you online by sharing the document and actually make the changes you need for a particular job. I want to say that the other components that need to go along with your resume usually is a cover letter, which speaks directly to why you think you are uniquely qualified for the job. Another thing is a separate page of references. And these are 3 or 4 people who know you, possibly have worked with you, know you as a student, and can really speak to how you are uniquely qualified for the job. The more you can coach up your references so that they know what you're looking for, what you've applied for, the better they can represent you when they get an email or a call about when they're checking your reference. It's just really good practice to put the person's name, full name, their title, their email, and if possible, a phone number. And it will go a long way to keep them apprised of your job search and make sure that they're on the same page as you. So that's the main things I wanted to cover. I'm looking just at my little notes here. Some other little tips that we've offered is students are using lots of different formats for their resume. One of the things I think works really well is if you keep something in just a simple Word format so that it's easy to cut and paste, and then you convert it to a PDF so that you can be fairly assured that the format will remain the same when you email it, which is the most common way of submitting your resume. There are some situations where people are asked to sort of submit these complicated applications. If you're in that position, again, you can contact Bridge Lab and we'll walk through that application with you. Sometimes it just helps if you're not as familiar with some of the things that they're asking for. And so again, while this is a really interesting time to be entering the job market, it could also be a really good time to be entering the job market. And something that I'm seeing just this last week is employers seem to be trolling for talent. They know that pretty soon things are going to open up and they're going to need good people like you working in their companies. So stay tuned. Bridge Lab will continue to share information as we know it. Watch PNCA JobWorks. The jobs will be posted there. Check homeroom every so often too, because if there's a project gig, we'll put it on there. And Max List is always good to subscribe to. It's the local job posting platform that really keys in on creative jobs and also technology jobs. We've been working a lot with our partners, 52 Limited. Again, they specialize in that where technology and creativity meet. And while they're in kind of a slow time right now as they adjust to this new labor market, they're also a wonderful resource. Keep an eye on 52 Limited. Stay tuned and keep in touch. Send us a note anytime. Thanks a lot. Bye.